a family vacation, a missing child, and a case that became one of the most infamous disappearances in modern history. This is the story of Madeleine McCann. On May 3, 2007, Kate and Jerry McCann were enjoying what should have been a carefree holiday in Praia da Luz, Portugal. The couple, both respected doctors from the UK, had traveled with their 3 young children, Madeleine, just 3 years old, and her younger twin siblings. The resort was idyllic, a peaceful getaway on Portugal's southern coast. But that night, everything would change. The McCanns and their friends followed a dinner routine that, in hindsight, would be heavily scrutinized. Each night, the adults left their children sleeping in their respective apartments while they dined at a nearby tapas restaurant, just 160 feet away. They took turns checking in on the kids every 20 to 30 minutes. At around 10 p.m., it was Kate McCann's turn. She entered the apartment expecting to find her 3 children peacefully asleep. But as she walked into the bedroom, her heart stopped. Madeleine's bed was empty. The panic sets in. At first, Kate thought Madeleine might have wandered off, but something felt wrong. The window, one that had been closed and locked, was now wide open. The shutter was raised. Kate ran back to the restaurant, screaming as "They've taken her!" Chaos erupted. Resort staff and guests joined the frantic search, combing the resort and surrounding streets, calling Madeleine's name. But she was nowhere to be found. By 10:30 p.m., the local police were called. But crucial time had already been lost. The early hours of the investigation were plagued with errors. The crime scene was contaminated. Dozens of people, including guests and staff, had entered the apartment, trampling over potential evidence. The Portuguese police were slow to respond, treating the case as a runaway child rather than a possible abduction. Border alerts weren't issued until hours later, giving a potential kidnapper plenty of time to escape. In the days following Madeleine's disappearance, witness reports surfaced. One tourist claimed she saw a man carrying a child near the McCann's apartment around the time Madeleine vanished. The description was chilling. A man in his late 30s with dark hair, carrying a blonde-haired child, dressed in pink pajamas, the exact outfit Madeleine was wearing that night. But as days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to months, the case grew more complicated. The McCanns pleaded with the public, making TV appearances and spreading Madeleine's image worldwide.
The legal team and the police and the discussions we had were extremely productive. Later on, I also visited the incident room in Leicester along with other family members, which was extremely informative and encouraging. Kate and I are particularly pleased with the joint appeal organised by the British and Portuguese police. We would encourage anyone who has photographs to submit them to the police. They can be uploaded.
Celebrities like David Beckham and even Pope Benedict XVI supported their search. But then, a shocking twist. The McCanns themselves became suspects. Portuguese authorities, struggling with a lack of leads, turned their focus on the grieving parents. Police pointed to inconsistencies in their statements. Sniffer dogs reportedly detected the scent of a corpse inside their rental car, leading investigators to suggest the unthinkable, that Madeleine had died in the apartment, and the parents had covered it up. Kate and Jerry vehemently denied any involvement, but the pressure was overwhelming. Portuguese authorities officially named them arguidos, formal suspects. Yet, despite all the speculation, there was no hard evidence to suggest they had any role in Madeleine's disappearance. By 2008, the case stalled. The McCanns were cleared as suspects, and the Portuguese investigation was officially closed due to a lack of progress. But Kate and Jerry refused to give up. The investigation reopens. In 2011, the British police launched Operation Grange, a new effort to review the case. Dozens of new leads emerged, including potential sightings and new suspects. Among the most chilling, a known child predator was staying near the resort the night Madeleine disappeared. A convicted pedophile, linked to past abductions, was found dead in 2009. But his possible involvement was never fully investigated. A mysterious phone call was placed near the McCann's apartment the night of the disappearance, but authorities were never able to trace it. For years, police chased theories, from human trafficking rings to buried evidence, but nothing ever led to Madeleine. Then, in 2020, 13 years after Madeleine vanished, a major breakthrough emerged. German authorities identified Christian Bruckner, a convicted sex offender who had lived in Portugal at the time. His phone records placed him near the McCann's apartment the night Madeleine disappeared. Bruckner was already in prison for raping a woman in Praia da Luz in 2005. Prosecutors believed he killed Madeleine, but once again, no concrete evidence could confirm it. And so, the case remains open. Over 16 years later, Madeleine McCann is still one of the most famous missing persons cases in history. Her parents never stopped searching. They still hold on to hope that Madeleine is alive somewhere, waiting to be found. Every year, new sightings, theories, and possible leads emerge. But the truth remains elusive. What really happened on that night in 2007? Was Madeleine abducted? Or is the answer something far darker? Until the day she is found, the world will keep asking, where is Madeleine McCann?